Navigating your college classes can often be overwhelming and sometimes leaves you feeling like you don't even know what to do or where to start. This can often be the case when you're taking an online asynchronous class like this one. Stay tuned as I walk you through the Basic Syllabus, which answers many of the questions that you have about this class. It's in the syllabus. That is a phrase that is uttered by professors who are often frustrated by the frequent questions that students have regarding assignments, when they're due, how they're supposed to be done, what grading policies are, etc., so on and so forth. So, I want to walk you through the syllabus. I'm not going to take you through the lengthy document that is the official course syllabus because, well, let's face it, it's really long and it's full of a lot of required, what we call boilerplate language that students really don't need to know, but we have to put it in there anyway. That makes the syllabus a very lengthy document to go through and find the pieces of information that are the most important to you as a student. Just for an example, I'm going to scroll through this very quickly. This is the online version of it. There's also a PDF version of it that's about 8 pages long. And it goes through all the things such as course outcome, materials that you need, the textbook that you need, required technology, assessments and activities. It includes a course schedule, grading policies, how you're going to be assessed in this class, the grading scale, student resources, accommodations, religious accommodations, course policies, late work, peer review, attendance, um, rubrics. Then at the end, there's this long list of dates and deadlines that I haven't amended, but most of them won't apply to you because you're taking a full semester class, but they also include dates for the first half session or the second half session or flex sessions. Um, so a lot of those dates don't apply to you, and it just takes up a lot of room. At the end of the syllabus is a very long course summary with all the assignments and due dates. Um, there are some additional things here that don't have dates that I will be deleting because they're just sources that I have for my own reference at the time. So instead of going through a very long and boring syllabus, instead I came up with a basic syllabus. I'm going to open the document for you. You can download this and save it to your computers or print it out. And this is just hitting the highlights. This is information that you really need to have. So it's all there at your fingertips. Obviously, important information is who the instructor is. My name, it's Malott, Malott, my email, the phone number that you can reach me at, office hours, which are by appointment virtually. There's also a link to the Zoom meeting room as well as the meeting ID. I have also included a link to my YouTube channel should you want to go there and watch other videos. Up to you. Of course, I do include the course overview because it's important information that you need. I also include information about the required textbook. The required textbook for this course is called The Writer's Practice by John Warner. Now, you have several options for purchasing this, or no, for getting this book. You can purchase it outright. It's an inexpensive book, probably under $12. You can buy it used. There is only one edition. So if you find it for dirt cheap online somewhere, go for it if you want the physical copy of the book. It's a great book. It's written for students, not by a textbook publisher, but by a guy who has taught English composition for probably 20 years. And he writes in a very easy to understand and very accessible manner. Um, so if you want to own the book, go for it and own it. If you have scholarship or financial aid money that helps pay for books, you can order it through the UC Claremont Bookstore um, if you want to. But to make it accessible for all people, I found the free downloadable text, which is a legitimate downloadable text made available by Mr. Warner himself. Um, you can find that in various formats at archive.org. Um, I also have the PDF available for you to download in the longer course syllabus, but you can go to archive.org and find any variation of what am I trying to say? The various formats in which it is published. So you could get an EPUB file, a PDF, you could get a Kindle file. If you have a Kindle reader, there are a bunch of different options you can go in. Underneath that, I of course include the course learning outcomes so that you know the sorts of things that you are going to be expected to learn in this class. The first one is analyze the writing situation by examining audience, purpose, and context. The next, compose multiple genres for a variety of audiences and purposes using sources as a foundation for writing in some projects. Apply appropriate composing processes and conventions to the writing situation. Locate, evaluate, and synthesize source material appropriate to the research topic. And describe what you know about reading, research, and writing processes and how you can apply that knowledge in various contexts. So I use what is called backward design. So I go from the learning outcomes, and I just noticed uh, a typographical error is very important to proofread. Um, but I go from the outcomes and I design the course backwards so that I make sure that everything that we're doing, all the assignments, all the readings, somehow contribute and relate to those overall course learning outcomes. Um, there's a note here underneath that says, "Did you know?" It's a 3 credit hour course, and you've probably heard that before, but do you know what it means? That means for every 1 credit hour, students are recommended to spend about 3 hours with the material. So if you're taking a face to face class, you have 3 hours that roughly 3 hours per week where you are meeting with your instructor. But since this is an asynchronous class, we have to lump those 3 hours in with the rest of the studying time. So plan to spend up to 9 hours per week for homework and studying. So that means watching videos, right? Like this. It also means doing the readings. Some weeks have heavy readings, other weeks are very light on readings. Um, for those weeks when you are predominantly drafting a writing assignment, I will try to back off on the readings somewhat because hopefully the readings that I provided in previous weeks have helped to build the foundational knowledge that you need in order to complete that writing assignment. I also included some information on grading. It's very important to understand that students in English 099 and English 1001 have to earn a minimum of C minus in order to pass the class. That is a departmental policy, a university policy. In each of the campuses, it is the very same thing. Students must have a minimum of C minus. Um, to pass English 099 and English 1001. So a C minus is 70 to 72, right? So at least have a 70% in this course in order to progress to the next level. If you were to grade below C minus, so if you have a 69 or below, you will receive a grade of NP, not proficient. This is not a bad thing. It doesn't affect your GPA, it won't affect your scholarship or financial aid, but it does mean that you will have to take the class again. When you take the class again and you pass it, that NP grade will be replaced with the grade that you earn in class the second time around. However, if you disappear from class, if you stop logging into Canvas, or if you don't complete all the work, you're going to receive instead a grade of UW. So if you ghost and you don't contact me and you're not telling me what's up, you're going to receive that UW grade. And that is treated the same way as an F. So it's very important that if you realize that you're struggling or something happens, that you contact me, you stay in communication with me, but also talk to your academic advisor because they might recommend that you withdraw from the class in order to not be penalized, right? But that's something that you have to talk to with your academic advisor to make sure that it doesn't affect your financial aid if you have been receiving financial aid. Um, of course, there's a chart here with the grading criteria. You will be writing 4 formal essays, and that includes 2 which will have rough drafts. The points for that are 100 each, totaling 400 points, and that will be 40% of your final grade. I think this is information that's really important for students to understand. Sometimes they get in a panic because they treat all assignments equally, whereas I actually weight the assignments. So the ones that are the most important, that is, those 4 formal essays, receive the bigger percentage of the final grade. You also will be required to do 2 peer reviews. Those will be 50 points each, making up 10% of the final grade. You will have almost weekly discussion boards, 10 of them, actually 11 of them, but 10 of them totaling 200 points, comprising 20% of the final grade. You will have almost weekly journals. Again, 10 of those totaling 200 points or 20% of your final grade. You'll have weekly quizzes, except for the final week. You will have weekly quizzes. These are very short quizzes dealing with grammar. I don't want to take class time to do actual grammar instruction. I just assign a reading to you and have you do the quiz to check your knowledge. Those are all 5 points each, very short quizzes, and you have multiple attempts to do them, a total of 60%, but that's only 6% of your final grade. And lastly, for the final 4% of the grade, you have 2 worksheets that I am assigning to you in the research unit. Those are both 20 points each. So that is the breakdown of how you will be assessed in this course and the types of the assignments that you will be doing. The grading scale is here again for you to understand. Um, the C minus especially is one to understand that if you have anything below a 70, you are not going to pass the class, right? You may have to take it again. Um, as far as late work, I'm pretty firm on my due dates, but I'm not going to penalize you if something happens. Um, I'm willing to accept late work with the exception of the peer reviews and of course anything at that's due at the very end of the semester. I can't take anything after the end of the semester because I have a very quick turnaround to get all the grades in before the due date for that. It's your responsibility, however, to reach out to me and ask for an extension. I don't need to know the reason why. I don't need a doctor's note. I don't need any kind of visual evidence that something is going on. It really doesn't matter to me. I only ask for a heads up with a general idea of when I can expect your submission. If you're chronically late with work, that is, you're having a huge problem managing your time because this is an online class and you're going on vacation and you're involved in a lot of other activities, something that's more than a day late on multiple assignments, and you fail to communicate with me, you will risk your grade being lower. Um, you can see more about my official course policy as far as late work in Canvas for more details. And underneath that, I have a sample assignment extension email. You can copy and paste this into an email. I ask that you make your requests through email, not through text. Texting is just I can't keep a record of that. This way, I have it on record, and then when I go to grade, I'll be like, oh, yes, the student emailed me. They're fine, right? Um, So it's a very simple template. I'm writing to request a deadline extension on my, and then you just insert whatever assignment it is. I plan to submit the assignment on the proposed date. You don't have to worry too much about that, but at least give me a general idea. Maybe you need a day, maybe you need 3 days, maybe you need a week because you've been sick. I don't know. Doesn't matter, right? As long as you have some idea, which is however number of days past the original deadline. To complete the assignment, I still need to do whatever. So you would just say, I still need to write my rough draft or do my research, whatever the assignment is that you need time to work on. Blank number of extra days on the assignment will help me complete these tasks. Please let me know if this extension is acceptable to you. Sincerely, and then sign your name. Um, so, one thing I want to point out here is if you do not receive a response from me, there's two possible options. One is you didn't type my name correctly in the email, so I never received the email, or the email got shuffled. I do try to respond to students within 24 hours. Usually it's much faster than that. I do have my UC email on my phone, and my phone is almost always with me. I do not look at emails at night after 10 o'clock at night. I don't see anything until 7 o'clock the following morning. Um, that's just how it is. I have to sleep, right? So don't worry if you send an email after, the 12 a.m. or the 11:59 p.m. due date time, and you send an email because you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in the hospital, and whatever happens. Um, don't feel bad by sending an email at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to wake me up, okay? But I will see it once I wake up in the morning and I check my university email account. Um, so don't worry about that. Don't hesitate to email me. Don't hesitate to stay in contact with me because I'm here to help you. Okay. So, again, download this document to your computer or whatever cloud storage you might happen to make so that you have it at your fingertips and you have the information that you need. Again, there is a separate course document for the course schedule for the year, but always, always, always refer to Canvas because sometimes I might change a due date because the class needs it to be changed, right? Um, so, yeah, that's it. Good luck with this semester, everybody. I'm looking forward to learning more about you and seeing what you have to write. Take care. Bye bye.